He promised marriage after the bar, then married someone else. Imagine grinding through the bar exam not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times, finally passing. You're inches from oath day, and your love life yanks the fire alarm. One complaint later, you're stuck in professional limbo for decades, not because the court roasted you, but because the process crawled like dial-up internet. Welcome to Figueroa versus Barranco, the case where a lawyer's oath got gate-kept by a very long heartbreak, and the court had to decide if broken promises equal gross immorality. We open in a small Philippine town where everybody knows everybody, and every fiesta has a queen. 2 teenagers, Patricia and Simeon, are steadies, old school for official, the classic hometown couple. He even escorts her when she's crowned at the town festival. Picture the whole plaza cheering and the band struggling through a Sousa march. It's cute. It's clean. It's the 1950s. Fast forward. They grow up. They level up from puppy love to adult relationship. The relationship gets serious, then intimate. Years roll by and a baby boy is born. There's no wedding, but there's still a relationship. According to Patricia, Simeon keeps dropping the same promise like a playlist on loop. I'll marry you after I pass the bar. Not once, not twice. We're talking dozens of times. Meanwhile, she says the financial support for birthdays could barely buy the candles. Not illegal, just not impressive. Not exactly a Hallmark Dad of the Year moment. Now, about that bar exam, he tries, he fails, he tries again, he fails again. It's a montage of review notes, cold coffee, and the emotional damage you take from standardized testing. Then finally, victory. He passes. Clap, clap, confetti, cue the oath-taking, right? And that's the moment the plot turns. Before he can take the oath, Patricia files a petition to stop him from becoming a lawyer at all. That's when Patricia goes full legal mode. If he won't say, I do, maybe the court will say you don't. The charge, gross immorality. Her case is simple in shape, but heavy in implication. He fathered a child out of wedlock, repeatedly promised to marry her after he passed, then married someone else. If the ethical line for lawyers is about character, she's saying this crosses it. Hearings follow. Everyone talks. The past gets replayed in a room with bad acoustics. The relationship? Consensual adults, together for years. The child? Uncontested. The promises? She says there were many. The heartbreak? Obvious. At one point, there's even a claim that the intimacy wasn't truly voluntary. Later, the court will weigh that against the reality that the couple stayed together for years afterward and conclude it doesn't add up. Her main contention is the broken promises. Patricia says he promised marriage many times and then chose a different life with a different woman. You don't need a law degree to recognize the heartbreak and the anger there. Meanwhile, Simeon does what a lot of people do while the legal gears grind. He keeps living. He works. He tries to show he's not exactly the villain in a teleserie. He serves on his town council. He joins civic groups, good community standing, all the I'm a solid citizen vibes, and crucially, no new scandals surface. No trail of wreckage, just a case file that refuses to end. Every time the finish line appears, the tape gets yanked away. What actually happened was a slow drip of motions, oppositions, referrals, and delays. It's like trying to stream a movie on 1 bar of Wi-Fi, buffering forever. He even briefly gets a green light to take the oath, then it gets pulled back after an opposition. It's like trying to merge onto the freeway and the ramp just keeps extending. Years pass, more motions, more paper. Eventually, the whole thing gets referred to the National Bar Association for a deep dive. Translation for non-law folks: let the Bar Association dig through this mess. They look at the facts, the standards, the precedent. After all that, the recommendation comes back. This is not the kind of conduct that should permanently block someone from the profession. Which brings us to the Supreme Court. Now we're at the scene that matters, the ruling. And this is where the law takes a scalpel to the word immoral. The court draws a bright line. It says the profession doesn't police every private failing, it polices the gross ones. In the court's words, a grossly immoral act is something so unprincipled or disgraceful as to be reprehensible to a high degree, the kind of willful, shameless behavior that makes decent people recoil. In other words, grossly immoral act is something so corrupt or disgraceful it's basically criminal-level wickedness. That's the bar. Not you did something wrong, but you did something so flagrant we can't trust you with justice. Apply that to the facts. Two consenting adults with no legal impediment to marry, a long relationship, a child, and a string of unkept promises about marrying after I pass. Painful? Absolutely. But the court says that doesn't hit the gross threshold. It even points to earlier precedent making the same point. Consensual intimacy between adults, even if it leads to a child, doesn't automatically equal professional rot. There has to be something far darker or more deceitful for the ethics hammer to drop. What about the "why did he marry someone else" part? The ruling is blunt on this, and we'll keep it exactly as the court put it. We cannot castigate a man for seeking out the partner of his dreams. For marriage is a sacred and perpetual bond, which should be entered into because of love, not for any other reason. That's not a Hallmark card. It's the court saying you don't force a wedding to validate a law license. And the court doesn't pretend this didn't hurt. It clocks the personal fallout. It also clocks the time. By the moment of decision, this guy has been in professional limbo for decades. The ruling notes, in effect, even if you think his earlier choices were not admirable, the wait has been punishment enough, and there's been no new misconduct to suggest he's unfit. Now for the spicy paragraph, the line you don't expect to read in a judicial opinion, but it's there, so we handle it carefully. The court views Patricia's complaint as, brace yourselves, an act of revenge of a woman scorned, bitter, and unforgiving to the end. Those are the court's words, not our editorial voice. We present them because they're part of the official reasoning that led to the outcome. The justices also observed that if Simeon had past indiscretions, he's already effectively suffered. 26 years blocked from oath-taking from 1971 to 1997 is, in their eyes, punishment enough. No other moral indiscretions were pinned on him during that long stretch. He's 62 years old by then. The court says, let the man finally take the oath. The decision, the complaint is dismissed. The barrier to the oath is lifted. He's finally allowed to be sworn in after paying the fees naturally. Cue the slow clap and a very, very late roll call to the bar. At the intersection of love life and law life, the paperwork stalled longer than the passion. In the end, the profession kept its focus. Punish what's truly shameless, not what's simply human and messy. What do you think? Was that the right line to draw, or did this feel like justice arriving way too late to matter? Drop your take in the comments. If you want more real cases told like stories, not lectures, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next one.